What's up, guys? I'm Tatted Trizzy, and today we're going to be doing an off the top 10. Today we're going to be talking about the best Pokemon games of all time. Of course, that's in my opinion. Starting off at number 10, we have Pokemon Go. Now, this one made the list not because it was so much interesting, but more so because it was like a game that got everybody off their asses and pretty much put us all outside, and it was pretty fun for like that week and a half that everybody was really into it. We was all walking around the parks and all that shit trying to catch Pokemon, and then it died out. So it definitely took enough people at the same time to earn its spot up here, but definitely nothing lower than 10 itself. So that's all the attention we're going to give this game, and we're going to move on to number 9. At number 9, we have Pokemon Y. I like this game for really just one reason. The second Pokemon you get to like pick up in town, like you pretty much get a second starter Pokemon, and you get one of the original starters. So I chose Charizard as a Pyro fanboy, and that was enough to sell me on the game itself. It takes place in the Kalos region, and my original starter was Fennekin, another fire type, and I pretty much plowed through the game with Flamethrower between the two of them. But it was still it's a good game. It was good on I believe 3DS, but it's pretty much like all the other handheld games. It didn't really stand out too much, but I enjoyed having that second starter and being able to relive with one of my favorite like of the original starters. So that gives it its spot. So we'll give it a pass. At number 8, we're going to be going to the Kanto region with Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. I'm actually playing this game right now, and it's pretty fun. I'll give you that. It's the basic run-of-the-mill of Pokemon Yellow. Your starter Pokemon is Pikachu, but I do like that they pretty much hand you like all the like regular starters like Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander, like by the time you get to like your second gym. So you're pretty much stacked for like your first 4 Pokemon that you're gonna want to be running around crushing people with. That part's fun. I haven't gotten too far into it, I won't lie. I've only gotten like 4 badges, but it's still a really good game, and playing it on the Switch is makes it a little more fun. I think that's what makes the world a little more interactive, and I talk to everybody in that. Normally I just zoom through the game or try to battle Pokemon. My only complaint is that I hate having to catch Pokemon in order to level my like Pokemon up and all that shit. But other than that, it's a really good game. At number 7, we're pretty much going for a nostalgia trip. It's Pokemon Silver in the Johto region. It was probably the second Pokemon game I ever played. When Gold and Silver came out, it was a big thing with the whole Lugia, Ho-Oh, and all that, and everybody was on board. I had my Game Boy Color, and I think my starter was Cyndaquil, but there's not too much that I can remember besides some of the gym leader battles. The Pokemon I weren't too big a fan on, except for the starters, obviously, and the legendaries. Lugia was a big one for me, and I did like the legendary dogs. They were coming out at the time, but aside from that, it wasn't enough to make it too much further on the list, but it was enough to keep it at something that stood out because it was one of the starts, and it was popular enough that it was remade and put on the DS as a digital copy. So that says a lot about the game itself. At number 6, we're going to be playing Pokemon Shield. I recently beat this. I'm lying, I beat it like 3 months ago, but it was really fun. It takes place in the Galar region, which is pretty much a very small map that leads to one big ass garden where you catch all your Pokemon, and then just kind of branch off when you want to go battle gym leaders. My starter was Scorbunny, big surprise. I do like, again, you get Charizard at the end, or Charmander or whatever, which was really cool. I pretty much boosted him straight to 100 as soon as I got him, and I'm trying to get a shiny right now, which is my entire goal because my Pokédex is almost maxed. But they are coming out with 2 expansions. I believe one is coming out in the next month or so, and then the other one's supposed to be coming out in the fall, which is really cool, and I plan on getting both of those, so we'll probably have an update on that when that comes out. At number 5, we have Pokemon Emerald, taking place in the Hoenn region. It's a game that I was very upset that they didn't do a remake on. Granted that they did one for Ruby and Sapphire. I get why they didn't, because they offered Rayquaza in both of them, but they should have just left it how it was before, did the little extra evolutions, and still gave us some type of Emerald. It would have been a lot cooler if you ask me, and they could have made a few extra bucks. It was a chance to make some extra cash, and they missed out the opportunity. But I bet you can't guess what my starter was for this one. Torchic. Another fire type. I did enjoy the game because, again, it was the mix of the two. You got to fight the kooky goons from both sides that wanted to drown the world and suck away the water or some shit. But I'd say it was mostly for nostalgia. And if I go back now, I can't really play it just because of how old it all was and how long it took to run around and do everything. I do think they introduced bikes though for that game, so that was one fun thing, and it helped get around a lot faster. Coming up at number 4, we have Pokemon Ultra Moon. Pokemon Ultra Moon takes place in the Alola region. For this one, I didn't really like the fire type. They had too much Litten, so I went with Rowlet, the grassy owl that you just can't really say no to. He actually proved to be pretty OP for like the first 4 major battles or whatever, and then I finally had to start power leveling my Pokemon. But I can't really say too much bad about the game. It collected itself pretty well. I like the way it had like a transportation system. You could like grab a Charizard if you need to go fly, or hop on a Tauros if you needed to run around, and it was pretty cool, especially for a handheld device, I'll say that. And I especially spent way too much time in the wormholes. I think I got almost, I was probably missing 1 or 2 of the legendaries. It might have been one of the dogs, and like I think Zapdos maybe, and I would have had a whole like set in there, and I didn't even care about like getting them for the sake of using them for the battle. I just wanted someone else to get it when I got rid of the game and be like, holy crap, what do I do? Do I just make a new game, or do I just like transfer all these guys to my Pokebank? At number 3, we're taking it way back. We're going to Pokemon Colosseum in the Ore region. Your starters are the same for everybody. It's Umbreon and Espeon. To be honest, 2 of the best starters that you could have. It gets a little tricky later on, but I absolutely love it, and I like that they let you have the 2, since a lot of them are dual battles and they're the perfect team to have together. It's more of a mountainous terrain, and I think it's more of a non-canon world for that, but it's Pokemon Colosseum. The Ore region itself is probably one of the best regions to me. It's like an outlaw region, so you could do whatever you want, and like this is introducing people who are trying to like steal Pokemon and all that stuff, and like it's like they can literally take them from your Pokeballs. They have like what was it, like snatch balls or something like that, and it was real badass as a kid when you're on like the GameCube and you're like, okay, now I'm really about to go stop these bad guys. There's a few, I might actually get another GameCube or like something that can play the Colosseum, because I really want to get back into it, and it was such a fun game that they could reboot it right now and it would make just as much money. It would be just as successful. They could just remaster it and everybody would eat it up. Taking the number 2 slot, it is a super nostalgia factor for this one. It's Pokemon Yellow, back at the Kanto region. Essentially what Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu is, but the original blueprint of it. You start out with Pikachu, and if you use a little bit of luck and know the right pattern to take, you can get the other 3 starters, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. You just have to be very tricky about it, and you have to go like the people will literally give it to you. You just have to, I believe, go in the right order, like to find them in town and all that stuff. They're not as, hey, right here and all that, but it's the first game that a lot of Pokemon fans played, if not Red or Blue, and I think it's safe to say that whenever anyone talks about it, it's always going to spark a little something in their mind and their heart. So I don't think anyone's going to disagree with me when I say that it's probably the number 2 game in all of the Pokemon games. As far as nostalgia, as far as like a well put together game for its time, that one definitely takes the cake. If we want to talk about one of the most questionable indecisions, but one of the most perfect Pokemon games that have ever existed of all time, that could still make it in this day and age, I'll definitely say Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness deserves the #1 slot. Going back to the Ore region of Outlaws, you're given a questionable starter, which is Eevee, which it is fun because, again, with the Pokemon Umbreon and Espeon, you do have the option, though it's just going to be only one of them. You can get one or the other. You can get Flareon, Jolteon, Vaporeon, and so that part is cool. I say questionable because I did get a little bit tired of Eevee at that point, but I did like going straight to Flareon, which wasn't too smart a move. But this one was super fun because now not only are people trying to steal away people's Pokemon through, like, even though they have Pokeballs, like, you could steal them now. They're like, hey, you know, we're just gonna give this like 10, 12-year-old kid the ability to steal bad guys' Pokeballs and hope he just does right by it. And by the end of the game, you end up with a freaking Dark Lugia, and I don't see anything wrong with that. That's a game that they need to bring back. They need to bring back Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness remastered. I'll buy like 20 copies. Okay, just for that, I'll give 19 away. If they remaster that, I would definitely buy and just give away like at least 30 copies of the game. I swear on everything. But thank you guys for listening, for being there, and for suffering through all of this. I hope you enjoyed. Tell me what's your top 10, and if there's any other top 10 or top 5 or any of the related videos that you would like to see, go ahead and give us a shout, and we will try to make a list coming up soon.